Come read with me. We're reading from Six of One and Half a Dozen the Other. This is my autobiography. It's called a memoir. And my name is Violet Calkins. You can find this book and 3 others that I have on Amazon if you'd like to. Right now, we're reading from the next chapter, which is peer pressure. Peer pressure and the teen years go hand in hand. They were years of growth, both physically and emotionally. Those were the times when character is being set. We had all had choices to make. Would we follow the crowd or make our own way in the sea of ever-changing fads established by others? My first real encounter with peer pressure came a few days into my junior high school year. Frances and I were having a good time just being our carefree, joyful selves. We were walking along the edge of the sidewalk, which was raised above the grass next to it. We walked with one foot on the raised walk and the other on the grass beneath. Up and down we hobbled, enjoying our game. Along came some 8th grade students and taunted us for acting like babies. Needless to say, the childish games were soon traded for a more serious attitude. A small piece of independence was traded for conformity. But in order to maintain relationships with others, compromise was often required. The trick was in discerning when to conform and when to stand firm. Relationships were still rather difficult at this age. There was a particular boy in junior high whose name was Charles. Like me, he was one of the least popular students, but his skinny, big-eared portrait I can still picture. He adopted me as his favorite victim to taunt. Did I have a kick-me sign on my back? Charles would tease me and call me names like Dogface or yell out loudly, "Howl!" which sounded like the call of a wolf, because my last name was Howell. He must have thought it was quite funny. I didn't. I avoided him and resented his poor treatment of me. He treated me that way through the 2 years I spent at El Capitan Junior High School. Every time he would meet me in the hall, he would say, "Hi, Dogface." The final insult came, though, at graduation. My 8th grade graduation should have been a big deal for me, but it was fraught with humiliation and shame. I just wanted to run away and hide. I didn't have money for a new graduation dress, as most of the girls who were graduating. My sisters had each had their own, but the timing was wrong, and I was in desperate straits. My new sister-in-law offered to loan me a baby blue party dress she had worn when she was younger, probably when she was 10. It looked to me like a baby dress. It was chiffon over satin and had tiny blue bows and shirring all across the bodice. I was completely flat-chested and felt like I was wearing the dress of a 6-year-old. Then the important night arrived, and as we lined up for the graduation march, I was paired up with none other than my tormentor. I had wished for anyone but him. It was 2 years later that I discovered Charles must have actually had a crush on me. He was attracted to me, but he didn't know how to show it. I was attending McLean High School in my sophomore year. It was a big school, and the classrooms were just far enough apart to make getting to class in 3-minute break between classes a race. I was hurrying to one of my classes when I heard from down the hall a loud voice calling, "Howl!" I stopped and turned to see this same young man running toward me. He seemed genuinely happy to see me and asked how long I had been at that school. I replied that I just started, but that I had to get to class. I left him standing there and hurried off to my destination. I had treated him badly, but I felt he had it coming. I never saw him after that. How confusing relationships can be. McLean was a prestigious school at the time. It was fairly new and located in one of the better parts of Fresno. Most of the students who attended there were fairly well-to-do and dressed in the latest styles. That was the 1970s, and the styles were reflective of the culture of the time. Psychedelic colors and mixed styles were the norm. It was the time when fashion designers turned to hot pinks, bright oranges, and purples, all mixed together in one chaotic bundle. Stripes were paired with checks, flowers or polka dots. All conventional fashion became outdated. Mini skirts were popular and hip hugger pants were common. Bell-bottom pants were still popular, but had graduated from the split side seam inserts to full bell style from the knee downward. I had a friend, Karen, who was an only child. She lived in a new house a few blocks from the school. I would visit her at home sometimes during lunch and sometimes after school. I was uncomfortable eating at her house, and though her mother often offered to feed me, I usually declined. Karen had everything I did not, and she only came to my house once. We had moved to a house on Winery Avenue across from the Fresno International Airport. We had several large palm trees along the front of the property. We had a Shetland pony. Oops, sorry about that. My